Well, good morning, everyone, maybe good afternoon. First of all, thank you very much for your attention and your patience. I'm going to be brief in order to stick to the time, and we can recover our strength at lunchtime. So, before our friends from the Spanish Civil Guard and Police, we must say that the technological bodies and brigades that fight against crime, we can say that not only here in Spain but also outside Spain, we have the best of the best here, and thanks to the revisions of the criminal code and some other elements that they use in this kind of situations, we should be very proud of our LEAs. I would also like to mention the effort of the administration bodies, and after the opening conference yesterday we had Joaquín Castellón, which is the operating director of the National Security Department, that announced he will cease his work next week. I would like to express my gratitude to him and also wish him a lot of luck, because part of the work that is being done is actually a challenge with which I'm going to introduce my presentation, and these challenges have been have a huge presence on the media and have triggered several different concerns in the administration, and these concerns have continued. And some months before WannaCry, we were already aware of cyber attacks that had a higher impact of what actually WannaCry had in the end. I think Spain had the 20th position on the ranking of countries affected by WannaCry. It had a huge impact in SMEs, and this follows the trend we have been seeing during the last 26 years. But the procedures of crisis management were working properly, but incidents like this one, like WannaCry and NotPetya, that had not so less incidents, generated a lot of concern in our society, and generated also some actions taken by the administration. So, please reminded us what actually means to keep on developing our services and rethinking what we can actually offer to our citizenship and the private sector. And this is combined with the ENISE directive that was commented before today. Is the new data protection directive and privacy, and these are several regulatory elements that are present right now in 2018. From the 7th September of this same year, we have this cybersecurity strategy, and we are quite happy, not only INCIBE, but also all the organizations of the administration, because this is the first time that we have a law that supports what was being said. And this is another element that has triggered all the activities that we are organizing right now. And throughout the last 5 years, since May 2013, we put into practice this service for critical operators. We have developed several different services that we have been adapting to critical operators and essential services operators have asked from us. And this cybersecurity law, together with this demand, have created these operators that support essential services and also the digital services providers, which are quite important as well. In the last year and a half, INCIBE has evolved. Of course, we have obtained new services, but we have also reinforced the ones we already had, because we needed to think about paying attention to the new demands and the new requirements of the cybersecurity law, and also because WannaCry alarmed us all, and we needed to broaden our capacities. So what has been done during the last year and a half, well, we have commented on several aspects. So we are reinforcing our staff. We are going to raise 70% our staff. We are going to keep on relying on our providers, cybersecurity providers. We should be proud of our industry in the cluster of cybersecurity. We have more than 300 pure players in the area of cybersecurity, and this is spreading at a fast pace also in Latin America, which is of course natural because we share a common tongue. And we are also stressing the training area, because one thing would be to have an engineering and give him some kind of cybersecurity training, and another thing would be to have an engineering that can actually identify malware and several different activities related to cybersecurity. And another thing that is a requirement from the general public and the clients, and of course cybersecurity stakeholders, is a better coordination, and this is being done actually because this new cybersecurity law, we have a CERT, a reference CERT for services related to detection, protection, mitigation and response to incidents of the private sector and the citizenship. There are several different brands that INCIBE offers in order to cover these needs, but the most well-known is INCIBE Third, of course. We used to name it Security and Industry CERT, at the Industry Ministry, but right now, in any case, the Secretary of State has changed, and right now we are called INCIBE CERT, and this cybersecurity law has INCIBE CERT as a reference point for the Defense Ministry and the rest of infrastructures. So this coordination is reflected in two facts, or at least three facts that are going to be reflected during the following weeks or months. In the first place, we are already working on regulations development. As we were saying yesterday morning, in the regulation development, we are leading already the transposition of this new law, and we have different stakeholders. For example, the National Infrastructure Center, the different LEAs that have been explaining to you some of their activities, the National Cyber Intelligence Center, and also the Joint Command on Cyber Defense and some other organisms that have a very intense activity on this domain. And two facts that are very important and that are mentioned in this law. We need to have a common language, and this means not to have different guidelines for incident notification, but only have one common one, and then afterwards, throughout several different appendix or own procedures, we can work in a known manner. For example, we have our own procedure, and what we have done with the Joint Command is to work with a common guideline that would be presented to the National Cybersecurity Council and Security Council very soon, and if it is passed, we will spread it throughout the different stakeholders. And we also speak about a unique window, and we want to have one unique window so that everyone knows where to go in case of incidents. So we are working to somehow integrate better all the efforts and to make it easy for the critical operators to have access to this tool. We already had this tool, we have been working with it throughout several years, but what we want to do is to have a web form that gathers all the important data in case of incident and different technological tools, for example, a pigmentation of information that will serve not only to notify incidents, which is one of the new aspects of this new law, that will have a more specific form that will allow them to exploit this information in a more effective way.
So besides that, we've been working on those things that many operators that usually work with us have been asking for us. This means that we are working on the fact that support mechanisms for emails and other type of tools work properly and work in a more dynamic way. And also we are working on an additional device regarding crisis management. So we are offering technical services such as forensic analysis, binary analysis of malware, or countermeasure generation, so that crises have the lowest impact possible in operators. But they also need to have technical and operating information. This is very important for the technical equipment of the company as well as for the CEO. This crisis management service will be operative since November, and this will be a complement for the services that INCIBE was already providing. Besides that, operators are also asking for more things. For example, during WannaCry, we also tested on different methods to exchange information. It's very important for a web page that has been blocked or a server that cannot be that is encrypted. It's not a barrier for the activities of the operator to continue being available. So one of the tools that we have integrated in this incident management process, it's a tool that is going to allow a dynamic information exchange, an alternative way of communication to traditional channels. So this is the new catalog of services that on Monday was presented to critical operators and providers. And in the last year and a half, well, if in 2016 we could solve more than 1,000 to 23,000 incidents, on the 13th of September we calculated that we had already solved 102,000 incidents. This is possible because we have more operators collaborating with the administration and with INCIBE to solve these incidents. We've celebrated a new session of cyber exercises with operators. We've had more than 26 operators from different sectors working with us, and we could test some mitigation and response solutions towards directed attacks and technical attacks. And of course, we have tested the global capacities of companies through different role plays that have allowed us to integrate in the cyber resilience process different profiles that were not included before. So I'm not just talking about the CTO, the CIO. I'm talking about different profiles, such as profiles regarding communication, legal departments, law enforcement agencies. It's very important to report, but it's also very important to work together with these institutions when having an attack. We've also included the resilience of our operators. So normally we are working on anticipation and mitigation here, and detection, of course. And in the last year, we've created more than 1,200 reports, and we have sent more than 1,200 reports to these companies regarding their assets and the level of security in their assets. And we've been working outside Spain too. We've worked on the international cyber exits that took place in June, and many countries participated at the global level. We've had more than 400 experts in cybersecurity working on a technical challenge, and we've again started our cybersecurity trainings for more than 300 experts all over the world. We are moving towards an activity which is more focused on awareness and resilience from the side of our companies and our society. We are talking about a less technical environment, but it's an environment that is more and more dependent on technologies. We are all carrying a mobile phone with us all the time. Some companies have profiles open on social media. They depend on their websites a lot, and taking into account incidents that can be detected and mitigated, this can have this already happens in some big companies, but for some SMEs this can be a dream yet. So we have already some programs about this, and also from the 15th of October we've opened a hotline at the national level for security incidents. This line, you can see the number in the slide, and it is and it's operative 24/7. And we've also extended the capacities in some specific moments. So, for example, when we have an incident such as WannaCry, and this is going to help regular citizens to have someone to contact in case they suffer this type of incidents. And regarding the work we are doing with minors, we've learned a lot from them, thanks to several activities we've carried out with them. We've been working in education environments, and we've seen that they need some special attention, and we have to access them to reach them in a different way, because they sometimes suffer from some incidents also in the cyberspace, and we are offering them also a hotline they can contact. It's an anonymous hotline. We've seen that sometimes they do not only need a technical help, they also need a social and psychological help when they suffer from sexting or from some type of bullying. So we have this hotline for minors too. And as I've said, we have these two hotlines for SMEs and hotlines for minors. What else can we tell about the INCIBE services we are offering? Well, regarding educators, mothers, fathers and minors, about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, we received European funding, and in 2017, on the 17th of February, we launched the network called the Safe Internet for Kids, and we launched it with two services. We have an awareness-raising platform, and we have also workshops and games for minors, and we also have a hotline or a helpline for these minors. This Safe Internet for Kids is within the line of work of INCIBE at the European level. So we are also learning from other type of initiatives of this type, and we are also trying to share our best practices with other institutions, and we've received also another allowance. So I'm glad to share this with you. In this new grant, we are going to receive even more funding And we have the help of different sectors of the industry and also the third sector. There are a lot of institutions that have been working regarding children protection or child protection on the internet. For example, the Ministry of Health and Social Services or the Ministry of Education have been working on this issue for a long time, and in this new European project we are going to work to strengthen these services, and we are going also to launch 2 tools or services for these parents, minors and educators that are involved in this. We have a helpline in case of child abuse. This report line is called INHOPE in the international context. It's a network formed by 43 countries in the world. This is a report line regarding abusive content on the internet regarding children, and at the end of the year we will have a protocol to withdraw, to delete this type of content from the internet. This is very important because it's true that children and teenagers use the internet way more than we do, than adults do, and they do so with any type of device they have. So this means that the information they are getting through these devices plays a very important role in their lives. So we want to avoid that they get some type of illegal content or inappropriate content. And we are working with citizens through the social network, so the social media, in order to detect or this type of content, so that we can eliminate this. Besides that, in this, within this European project that will start from the 1st of January, we will have a citizen participation program oriented to young people. We think that young people are going to be able to define better the type of services that they need. And this is working very well in some countries that have already implemented this type of programs. There is, at the European level, this is called Youth Panel. We will have to give this program a name in Spanish, but we want this to be an innovation forum in which young people can give us their ideas. We want them to participate. It's true that there are some educational centers that are being very innovative when helping young people to face risks such as cyberbullying, sexting, etc. And we want to support this type of initiatives. And finally, I've mentioned this before, but we are going to launch a new cyber cooperant platform. We have over 130 volunteers at the national level, and they are allowing us to reach places in which we cannot reach as INCIBE. Of course, we have our limits and our own limited resources and time. So, if you want to be a cyber volunteer to work with INCIBE, and if you want to give, for example, a presentation in an educational center, we can work with you so that we can reach places where we cannot get. And there are a lot of entities that want to participate in this program. So, in the last months, we've created a new program so that entities that have some social responsibility line in their companies can participate in volunteering programs such as this one. This type of program that will be launched in the next few weeks. We will notify this on our social media and website. It's very interesting, and you can all participate, and all entities that work with us need to have at least 3 people that work in this sense, because we want these volunteers to share their experiences and to raise awareness in different environments. So we want to give presentations in educational centers, and we also want to give some presentations for the families of our employees too in INCIBE. And finally, well, we can already smell food, and I know that we are all hungry, so I'm going to finish by saying that we are already realizing the impact that our actions are having. More than 200,000 internet users are accessing our services. More than 90,000 users are following us on the social media. Only in the anti-botnet service, we've received more than 500,000 notifications to ISPs, and the disinfection rate of the users is almost 80%. So let's remember that botnet are one of the biggest threats we are facing. Is the way cyber criminals can get in our houses or in our computers, and this type of public and private cooperation programs are very useful to get rid of this type of directed malwares. The Cyber Volunteers program has already more than 630 volunteers. More than 1,200 presentations have been given, and we've helped more than 55,000 minors, young people, parents, and educators. And we've been able to offer several workshops for this sector of society too. This shows the work that INCIBE is doing and the new activities we are going to launch for 2019. But we want to go beyond that, and we will do so in the future, because users require our help more and more, and our obligation is to attend their needs as much as possible. This is all from my part. You can contact us through any communication channel INCIBE has, and thank you so much for your attention. Good afternoon.